YouTube. Okay, let me put my TV on mute. Sorry about that. But I'm uploading a new video, and I'm so used to recording on another social media platform. So my videos are really raw. But something else, I came across an article about intermittent fasting. Apparently intermittent fasting is really, really growing. It is. It's growing amongst dieters and weight loss people, but also it's always been big in spiritual circles. And the reason for that is that fasting began as a way for, this is how I came to fast. To understand what it is. Fasting, if you believe in God, whatever deity you believe in, it was to increase the connection between you and that deity, to increase the connection, to increase the flow and the pathway to renewing of your mind and your body and your spirit, and also to make you feel healthy, because the way that it was introduced to me by my pastor is that we become so heavily dependent upon the resources of the world that we simply would not know how to, if say an apocalypse did happen, would we know how to survive on our own. And it was a religious exercise that I first engaged in when I was young, and my pastor was basically like, okay, we're going to fast this whole weekend, and the only thing we're going to survive off of is water and roughage, like fish and things like that. And no breads, just fish and water, and little legumes that we found that were planted, that were common in foresting areas. And it was the most exciting time of my life. It was eye-opening. It was an awakening. It was an awakening of some sorts for me. And I truly enjoyed it. I got to know who I was. I got to know who I was. I became aware of limitations that I can set in my life. I began to know about what I could achieve in my life. And also there were deeper spiritual connections or happenings that I kind of acquired or discovered in my life. That would let me know that led to a disciplined lifestyle, that led to a spiritual awareness that has guided me and has strengthened me and kept me through all this time. And those are just some of the benefits of intermittent fasting that I've experienced in my life. And I simply, and to see that a lot of other people are doing it it's interesting. It's interesting because I know that a lot of people are doing it because of weight loss. A lot of people are doing it because it's a fad. And also a lot of people are doing it because it does open you up. It heightens your senses. It heightens your sense of smell. It heightens your sense of self. It heightens your sense of your environment. And literally you do get a high from it because of the gases in your stomach, because literally your body begins to feed on itself. It does. And one of the most fortunate things that when your body begins to feed on itself, your body feeds healthy. Your body feeds the way that it's supposed to feed in order to relieve your body of disease, stress, anxiety, and other ailments that you might be experiencing in your life. Some of the most profound or prolific people throughout history that we've seen fasting become a benefit to is Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. He literally swore off food until European forces, left India, and he got to be very, very thin. But he did, there was some success, and a lot of people attribute it to his, his fasting and his practices and his prayers for his country. And Christ as well, when he was in the wilderness, dealing with the adversary, he fasted for 40 days and for 40 nights. And through that clarity, he got to his pathway to his heavenly Father was open. His pathway to his self was open. And he basically, told the devil that I don't need you. You serve me in no way. You comfort me in no way. You serve no purpose in my life but to bring chaos. So he was like, get thee behind me. You are my past. My future is, lies before me. And, just throughout history, there have been times where individuals have decided, or I don't know, have been forced into or decided to forsake worldly means like food and water and luxuries and things like that in order to achieve a certain type of enlightenment. And it usually starts with an issue that is going on in your life, issue that you want to have solved, an issue that's bothering you. And for me, it was a strictly, truly religious, because the way that I felt in my youth was definitely a connection to something that was much more powerful than myself, that I found comforting, that I found divinely enlightening and comforting, and just the best guide. But all of our experience with fasting is different. And like all of our experience with fasting is different. Some people, they achieve a certain type of awareness, and they're truly, they're satisfied with themselves. And I say kudos to those people. I mean, it truly is a wonderful practice. And some people experience a high because, like I said, those gases in your gut, they're amazing. Releasing those gases in your gut to achieve a certain type of comfort, to achieve a certain type of enlightenment, a clarity, to decrease your dependency upon food and water if it has become out of hand, if you become kind of a slave to eating, and drinking, and to feeling that it is necessary to detach yourself from those worldly urges, from those daily urges, is truly an amazing experience. First of all, you're dealing with the phenomena that you could do it for yourself. That you can go a day or 2 or 3 without eating. Hopefully drinking water though. For me, when I did it with my pastor, we only ate fish, and we did things throughout the day though. We planted seeds in a garden. We prayed. We went fishing because we had to catch what we were going to eat. And the way that our pastor kind of secured us and led us is that he reminded us of the beginning, when the demands that we have as human beings for food right now, which leads to obesity and chronic illnesses, it was not a concern. And he says, if we can do it in the beginning, why can't we do it now? And that was the first time I actually experienced some success in taking control of my caloric intake, my what I ate, and my alertness when it came to taking care of myself, when it came to deciding on what it was that I wanted to eat. And what happened that I'd stopped that I lost all that is there was a tragedy in my family. There was a fire at our family house, and and when you experience trauma, self-preservation takes over. And it's not that I ran out and got anything to eat. I was just concerned about my life, burning up, dying in a fire. It was, that was just, it was my concern just to get safe and to stay safe. And then when my family secured, housing for ourselves again, we went to our pastor, and I just, it was on my mind to ask him about the fasting. But I never did. I never got back to him on that, and I had forgotten about it. But subconsciously, because it was something that was definitely a viable part of my religious experience, I would do it. I would tell myself that I'm not going to eat And now that it's defined, because a lot of people are doing it, I'm feeling, like this is awesome, because now people can experience the benefits of fasting and mental clarity and cognitive reconditioning. Because when you fast, your mind is truly doing what it's truly in a place where it does what it wants, what it needs to do, and it does what it needs to do efficiently and effectively. It helps you with decision making. It helps you to discern what is necessary in your life and what isn't. Because oftentimes we like to spoil ourselves with certain things, but fasting allowed me to know what was necessary in my life and what was not necessary in my life. And it allowed me to set long-term goals. It allowed me to envision a future for myself. It allowed me to have faith in my ability to accomplish those long-term goals. And fasting also, it kind of settles you into a balance of reality, because a lot of times when we take on endeavors, oh, this is impossible, this is too much, and anxiety sets in, and we forget truly about what is important about setting goals and accomplishing them in our lives, how enriching they are, how invaluable they are to our self-esteem and our self-awareness. And that's basically all I wanted to say in this little video, because I could have said it in 60 seconds, but not really, because I just wanted to inform my followers and my subscribers and anybody else that's thinking about intermittent fasting that it is truly more about letting go of worldly demands, of eating 3 meals a day, of having something to eat. And it allows you to reflect on what's truly important. I suggest anybody starting off, trying it, start with one day. Wake up in the morning, eat one meal, and just decide for yourself that you're going to slowly cut back on what you eat. And you'll find yourself in a better place, because you've made the decision to fast. And during that fast, write down how you feel. Make sure you consume enough liquids to keep, to stay balanced, to stay hydrated. Because one of the first things that you notice about fasting, when you're fasting, and I need to slow down when I speak. One of the things that you realize when you begin to fast is your hydration. Hydration becomes important. It becomes crucial, because heavier foods like proteins and fibers, our bodies have plenty of that, and some of us have proteins and fibers that our body, can continue to feed off for a couple of days. But hydration is definitely necessary. And the best form of hydration is water, or a vegetable water, or I think some of the mixtures or collagen packets, powder packets, are really good for staying hydrated. But yeah, try it. It is the best experience. It's a positive experience as well. If you're trying to solve a problem, if you're trying to break a habit, if you're trying to address an issue that just seems impossible for you to confront or to solve, I suggest restricting something in your life so that you can truly define and hone in on what the problem is, so that it doesn't become out of control, so that it doesn't become beyond you, so that you can continue to address it. But yeah, I'm just excited, and I wanted to share that with you guys, because and also listen to your internal clock. Don't force yourself to fast, because that can bring on anxiety as well. So basically fast when you feel it. Basically fast when you know that you are strong enough, that your willpower is strong enough to get through it, because it is about willpower. It's about you being able to restrict your caloric intake and be happy with it, and fight the temptation to give in and eat. So yeah, it takes 30 days to break a bad habit, but it also takes 30 days to learn a new more positive, productive behavior like fasting, which has so many benefits. And do your research on it though. Do your research, be informed. Peace.